doing that jab up and down. And then when you go downstairs, take that downstairs, come up at the left hook. It's gonna be open. It's gonna fall down there too. Anytime you jab down low, just keep trying to come over the top.
You can say, hey, you know what? I can beat that Mayweather style. I was too young, but look, I did it now against Crawford.
I forget Mayweather a long time ago. This is different for me, you know? I lost that day, and that's it. I learned a lot.
Like in Canelo versus Crawford. Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young.
Canelo responded sharply after learning that Terence Crawford sparred with Floyd Mayweather during training. He said things have turned personal, accusing Crawford of repeatedly disrespecting him. Canelo feels targeted and believes Crawford is trying to diminish his legacy. He warned this fight is no longer just business. It's personal now.
Tell me a little bit about that. Did things get a little bit personal now?
Yeah, a little bit more personal because, you know, I did respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say, I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that. And then he tried to, maybe Turki Al-Ashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in the Riyadh. So and he tried to like he walked me back, and that's why I pushed him. And you know, like I say, don't fuck with me.
Terence Crawford has openly criticized Canelo Alvarez's resume, saying it's not as impressive as many claim. In Crawford's view, most of the big names Canelo beat, like Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto, and Sergey Kovalev, were well past their prime when they fought him. He points out that Canelo's only bout against an active legend, Floyd Mayweather, ended in a clear defeat. Crawford believed these facts take away from Canelo's legacy and cast doubt on claims that he holds a superior place in boxing history. Additionally, Crawford feels disrespected by Canelo's tendency to downplay his accomplishments. He accuses Canelo of ignoring the quality of his opponents in an attempt to diminish his rise and credibility in the sport.
Things about Canelo's resume, but I won't. You know, I wanna, you know, pay homage to the fighters that he fought, and if he don't want to pay homage to the fighters I fought, if he thinks they nobodies, then come fight time, then I wonder what they're gonna say after I beat him.
Promoter Eddie Hearn admits Canelo holds a natural size advantage, but he doesn't count Terence Crawford out. He highlights Crawford's intense focus, self-belief, and mental sharpness as key factors that make him dangerous, even against larger opponents. Hearn believes mindset can alter outcomes in boxing, and Crawford's discipline and determination give him a real shot at victory. While acknowledging that size matters, Hearn stresses that Crawford's skill in managing pace, distance, and rhythm could effectively level the playing field and lead to a potential upset.
Not for him, like not against him, sorry, for him. Like he's so, I think he has no doubt that he beats Canelo Alvarez. Of course. I really liked him. He's a great fighter, but I have to say, like, tell me his major significant wins.
Well, obviously, I was.
Yeah, but come on, it's like,
no, but he beat a guy who was in the top 5 pound for pound. Destroyed him. That really never happened.
no, I agree. Okay, I agree. I mean, that he was coming off, you know, eye problems. But
Nobody was saying that when he was
But we
beating
give him that
Manny
credit.
and Ugas.
Tell me more.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
That's a big win.
No, but,
Now,
okay. Keep going.
your guy from the UK who stopped him, what, the 5th round was it? Kell Brook.
Finished by them. Yeah. Well, keep going.
Okay, he stopped somebody that nobody's ever really can hurt.
Well,
Sean Porter.
I mean, yeah, but that was about 8 years before, and Errol Spence.
That wasn't.
Yeah, when he beat Sean Porter.
No, that was in 2023.
Who?
Terence Crawford beat Sean
No,
Porter.
no, I'm talking about Kell Brook against Sean Porter.
No, I was talking about Bud. I'm not talking about that. But he stopped him. Nobody's ever able to really hurt Sean.
By the way, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
That was a
like,
great
this
win.
is like an open-
And he didn't have a lot of names at 140, but Postal and all those guys, those are good fighters. They weren't big names, just like Bam. He doesn't have the great, he doesn't have a whole lot of great names, just like
Strada.
Inoue. No, Inoue. Inoue, yeah, he does have two great fights.
By the way, he's one of my
Inoue
favorite
doesn't
fighters.
have a bunch of.
John Ryder, who has faced Canelo Alvarez firsthand, offers insight into the challenge Crawford is taking on. He describes Canelo's physical presence as overwhelming and notes that moving up in weight will be a major test for Crawford. However, Ryder believes Crawford has the mental toughness and physical tools to rise to the occasion. He highlights Crawford's adaptability and technical brilliance as key advantages, suggesting that these attributes could help neutralize Canelo's size and power, making the fight far more competitive than expected.
Can he go up 2 divisions? A lot of people in his camp believe that he's even going to stop him, but yeah, what's your thoughts?
If there's any man that could do it, it would be Terence Crawford, but I just think the sheer size of Canelo is going to be too much on the line.
Do you think size will be too much? I mean, you were in there with Canelo, you landed good shots and he took them, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent, but I think the size will be the factor on the line. It will just be too big, too strong.
Terence Crawford has carefully mapped out his strategy for facing Canelo Alvarez, revealing 2 potential game plans. One involves applying constant pressure, breaking Canelo's rhythm, and overwhelming him with volume and aggression. The other draws inspiration from Floyd Mayweather's approach, using slick defense, sharp counters, and smart footwork to frustrate and outpoint Canelo. While Crawford acknowledges he lacks the natural size Mayweather had during his prime, he remains confident in his speed, timing, and ring IQ. Viewing himself as a hybrid fighter, Crawford believes his ability to adapt, blend styles, and shift tactics could be the key to defeating Canelo.
There's 2 things that you can do with somebody bigger and stronger. You know, you can either try to push them back, you know, because 9 times out of 10, a strong fighter not used to going back, you know, so it kind of fucks them up in the head, you know.
Yeah.
Or you can just box them because some of them are just slower than others because they got flat feet, and they just looking to load up on certain shots.
Now, Crawford's definitely right here. There's 2 ways to beat a pressure fighter like Canelo. Either you put the pressure back on him, which is where guys like Triple G and Bivol had success, or you use your superior skills and footwork on the outside, which is how Floyd Mayweather won. Now, Crawford, he can't use the pressure approach because he's not as physically dominant as guys like Golovkin or Bivol. You know, Bud is a welterweight or junior middleweight jumping up. He doesn't have the size to push Canelo back. Now, the outside boxing approach, that is definitely Crawford's best chance against Canelo. You know, he is right, Canelo does struggle to cut off the ring at times. We saw that in the Skull fight. And he does load up on single shots now. But at the same time, Crawford is not the same pure boxer that Floyd Mayweather was. You know, Mayweather rarely got hit in that shell. His form of countering, you know, a pull counter, for example, was, I'm not going to get touched and then I'll make you pay. Whereas Crawford's style of counterpunching is different. Bud will take one to throw 2 or 3 back, and he can't do that against Canelo because of the size and power difference. If Bud takes a clean right hand to throw back an uppercut or a hook, he's either going to get dropped or he's going to end up on his mic like Jermell Charlo. So while I do agree Crawford does have the superior skill set in this fight, but because he doesn't have the size to push Canelo back, or the defense of someone like Mayweather stay perfect for 12 rounds on the outside, I do think Canelo's size and power will make a difference in this fight, and that's why I like Canelo to win.
Joe Rogan's perspective on the Canelo versus Crawford matchup echoes a rising view within the fight world. He acknowledges Canelo's elite status, but notes signs of decline in his speed and stamina. In contrast, Crawford appears to be in peak form, continually improving and dominating across weight classes. Rogan believes the timing favors Crawford, who is currently operating at his highest level. Citing Crawford's pound-for-pound ranking, Rogan views the fight as much more competitive than many initially assumed.
Who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was younger.
Do you think Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to win, but I think he can win. He's going to have to box a brilliant fight.
If Ray Leonard could beat marvelous Marvin Hagler, Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. Why do you say that? Same equation. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Over and over and over. He's got to figure the angles and the approaches that will allow him to step in, land to the body, or occasionally upstairs, and then get out.
Legendary boxing commentator Jim Lampley views the fight as more than just a clash of styles, and a battle driven by pride and legacy. He acknowledges the clear size difference, but emphasizes that both Canelo and Crawford are defined by their heart, determination, and relentless pursuit of greatness. For Lampley, it's a showdown between 2 warriors unwilling to back down from any challenge in their quest to be the best.
Crawford is going to fight Canelo because even if I have some doubts and misgivings about the size matchup, it is two action fighters who like to fight aggressively at times, not all the times, going against each other, and we'll see who can open the other person's tuna can, so to speak.
Max Kellerman confidently places Terence Crawford at the top of boxing's current pound-for-pound list. While he respects Canelo Alvarez's accomplishments, Kellerman believes Canelo's prime is behind him. He praises Crawford's recent performances as near-perfect, showcasing dominance across multiple weight classes. In contrast,
Apologies to the monster and Usyk, but Crawford has my vote for best pound for pound. Canelo Alvarez universally recognized that way. But it's not just these two guys, the last two best pound for pound fighters in the world.
Teddy Atlas provides a thoughtful take on the matchup, acknowledging Canelo Alvarez as a complete, well-schooled, and highly skilled fighter. However, when discussing Terence Crawford, Atlas shifts his tone, calling him special, a designation he reserves for only the most exceptional talents. He highlights Crawford's rare ring instincts, composure under pressure, and ability to make precise mid-fight adjustments. Atlas also praises Crawford's ruthless finishing ability.
He's a little overrated. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good, really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moved up in weight class, can carry it, but those intangibles. I believe that he has it.
Daniel Jacobs, who has shared the ring with Canelo and closely studied Crawford, offers a unique perspective on the matchup. He acknowledges that both fighters possess speed, but describes Crawford's as more explosive and unpredictable. Jacobs highlights Crawford's ability to switch stances and throw punches from unusual angles, giving him a tactical edge that could catch even Canelo off guard. After comparing their skill sets, Jacobs admits he would lean toward Crawford as the likely winner, citing his superior timing.
But I had at least over 15 years of knowing him, amateur, professional. I've seen where he started. I've seen how he's gotten better over time, but I also just know what resides in him. He's a dog, he's a beast, and he's out to prove something too. So I'm excited about this fight. Canelo obviously is self-explanatory. There's really no need to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to him. But I do see this being as a 50-50 fight. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Crawford. But also too, you can't count Canelo out. I mean, would go in, I'm assuming, as the favorite, which is rightfully so.
A lot of people say that version that you thought was probably the best, Canelo Alvarez, and since then, obviously, naturally, he's slightly declined.
Yeah.
Do you see this decline that people talk about?
Well, I can see in increments because Canelo, which I've always said is an amazing legendary fighter, but he fights in spurts. So sometimes it takes for the opponent to actually initialize him giving the best. When he was faced with me, the opposition that I had and what I was giving him, it was just a lot. Whether it was boxing, whether it was coming forward, but most importantly, it was the punches and bunches. And so he was forced to either stand there, wait for the right time, or be combative and go back at it. So I think that's what Crawford may have to do. Push the pressure, make Canelo fight, or maybe just play it safe, win on points.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Terence Crawford's longtime trainer, expresses unwavering confidence in his fighter. He believes time only strengthens Crawford, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Bomac explains that their entire training camp has been meticulously designed with Canelo in mind, covering everything from nutrition and conditioning to detailed film study and strategic planning for the challenge ahead.
Different approach in terms of crafting a plan and going into camp?
No, not really. We know the type of fighter Canelo is. So, as a fighter, you mentally prepare for things like that. and then as a trainer, just making sure he's sharp. His mental game is sharp, his physical game is sharp. Strength-wise, nutrition is everything. Got to, like I said, hitting on all cylinders. So by the time you step in that ring, it's easy picking.
Jaron Ennis, a rising star in boxing, offers a cautious take on the matchup. While he respects Crawford's skill, he's realistic about the physical challenge ahead. Ennis points out that if Crawford can't earn Canelo's respect with power, the fight could shift in Canelo's favor. He stresses that skill is vital, but eventually, a smaller fighter must deliver real damage.
I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before, he been pitting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really at 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be driving these guys and things like that. So and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. Maybe probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it, so so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, at like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body, the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up in weight, you gotta develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavy and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now, but I think he should just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Alexander Usyk, who's no stranger to overcoming size disadvantages, views the Canelo versus Crawford matchup as fair. He admits the challenge for Crawford is real, but emphasizes that Crawford remains the top pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. Roy Jones Jr. adds that the fight will come down to Crawford's mindset. If he enters the ring fully sharp and with the right strategy, Roy believes Crawford can outmaneuver Canelo. However, even a slight lapse could allow Canelo's power and experience to take over. Ultimately, success hinges on execution under pressure.
If pro boxing fans, joined by, does he need any introduction, Hall of Fame legends, Roy Jones Jr. here in the UK. There's a few questions about the US guys. Obviously, Tank and Lamont Roach, we saw the first fight, Lamont Roach shot the world. What do you think happens in a rematch if they fight?
I think he shocked the world again. But the only thing different this time is Tank will come with a different attitude, different personality, different motivation. And I think Roach will do good again, but I think Tank will be more dominant this time.
And obviously we know if Canelo wins against William Skull, he will fight Terence Crawford in September. Who would you favour in that fight?
It's a hard one to call. And I'm going to tell you why it's hard to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo comes to the dance.
Brian Norman highlights the powerful narrative surrounding this fight. He notes that if Canelo defeats Crawford, some critics may downplay the win due to the size difference. However, if Crawford emerges victorious, it would be seen as a historic achievement. For Norman, this matchup goes beyond titles. It's about legacy. He believed the outcome will help define both fighters' careers. The winner won't just claim a victory. He'll be remembered as a defining fighter of his generation.
Deal with Canelo's experience over time, right? Even though Terence is the older fighter, he has, I think, 20 less fights than Canelo, or maybe more. I think 20 more than. And also, competition. This will be the most skilled, most experienced, biggest, strongest fighter that Terence Crawford's ever faced, without a question.
I love you both, but you still did not answer the question. How do you see this fight?
I told you.
Don't say what your hands
I'm blackout. I'm blackout. Listen.
Jack's trying to get that one line. He's trying to get that go viral moment from Bud, but he's just not that guy, right? And I think he's what he's about to say. It's like he's not going to go in there and be like, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to do it in the first round. And plus, I wouldn't want to hear that, right? As much as that sounds nice as a sound bite, I wouldn't want to hear that because I don't think he believes it. And I don't believe it. I want to hear what Bud actually believes, which is, that he'll win, but not like this mystic back, let me predict the round, here's why, unless he truly believes that. And I don't think Bud, I think he believes he'll get it done by any means necessary, whether that's, let's say, he was able to knock Canelo out or he gets it done by decision, doesn't really matter. Because a fight is a fight at the end of the day, and all he needs to do is win.
Always in my mind, doesn't exist a loss. You know, I train, I put my best, I dedicate myself to this sport, and I'm just thinking about winning.
Many still see Canelo as a dominant force he once was, but both he and the sport have evolved. Crawford's criticism of Canelo's resume has sparked fresh scrutiny, leading fans to question the true weight of his past wins. This fight could redefine Canelo's legacy in time.
So you heard about what Canelo said about Terence Crawford's resume already, and how he has no elite fighters on his resume. And say what you want about that, you know, agree to disagree or whatever. What do you guys think of Crawford saying this about Canelo? Canelo fought great champions, but most were past their prime. But when they weren't, you saw what happened. Lara, Mayweather, and Bivol. Obviously, Mayweather was past his prime already, I'd say. But he's right. I rewatched the Lara fight, and, you know, that Cuban style is just tricky to deal with. And, you know, a lot of people would say that Lara won that fight. And then Bivol, it was, I mean, I don't need to convince you about that. That fight was a clear-cut victory for Bivol. And it just showed that Canelo isn't this unbeatable person. You know, with the right set of skills, you can beat him. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Has Terence Crawford fought any elite boxers? You could say, you know, Errol Spence, but then, you know, after that whole horrible accident that he had. So who knows, right?
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more soon.